Dearest listeners,
Book babes and book bros.
welcome to Book Babble. I'm Rachel,
And I'm Tanya, and we're the Witlet Women, your host for the day.
and today we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Whitney. I'm a contemporary romance author, and I'm ready to get wild with these ladies.
Well, we are ready to get wild with you as well. Are you ready to babble?
Oh, listen, I'm going to babble like it's an Olympic sport.
I love that. Let's go. I'm putting 5 minutes on the clock.
All right. So my first question is almost always, what inspired your stories?
Oh my gosh. I mean, these are stories that I've just like had in my head for years. And each story is inspired by like little things. At First Smile, which is the one that I'm most known for, is this fantasy that I've always had as a blind woman when I'm at the airport that I'm going to meet like, Pedro Pascal or like Henry Cavill and not know that that's who they are. And then we just like have this instant connection, right? My husband, not a fan of this fantasy, but I thought since it's unlikely to happen IRL because, I'm a very devoted wife, I would write a book where a blind woman like myself had that experience with a famous hockey player. So that's just one example, but I don't know, it just little ideas come to me and I just say, wow, wouldn't this be a cool story? And I sit down and I try to write it.
Well, we appreciate your fantasies. At First Smile was the first book I read of yours, and I'm obsessed with it. So, uh, we'll get to that later, though. So, are there any secrets or Easter eggs that you can tell us about any of your books or even your writing journey so far?
Oh yeah. So I am a big Easter egg putter inner. Like that's an owl word, putter inner. Um you
Making it a
tell it
verb.
right. Yeah, I put things in my books for people in my life, things that I enjoy. Like there's always an Austin reference or tea or pastries. I also love to like put things in for like the romance readers and writers in the room. So if you are a fan of the genre, you'll see little things or you'll go, wait, like Book Boyfriends, which comes out, people will say, oh, look, the pickleball court that they go to is called Fairbanks. And that's for Ivy Fairbanks, who is a friend. So like I do things like that in my books, little winks to the people in my life and the romance genre and some of our favorite books, just because I think it's fun for me as a reader when I catch those things. And I also put things from other books into my books so that even if it's like maybe not in the same series, they're all kind of like in the same Whitney land that
Yeah.
I've created.
Awesome. So that's exciting. With all of those like extra details, what is your process for writing? Because you've got to keep those things like straight in your head too while you're also writing your story.
Oh yeah, I have lots of Word documents with characters and little things, and like, oh, this is in the same universe as this or that. Like the book I'm writing right now is in the same universe as At First Smile. It is not the next book in the series because I am getting people asking me about that, but it is in that same universe. It's in the same place, so there's like little things. So I just like go to my Word document for At First Smile and I look up certain things so I remember, oh yeah, in this particular part of the universe, X, Y, and Z happens, or this is the name of the hospital, or this is the name of that adorable little coffee shop everybody likes to go to. So that way I can just like insert it in. For the other, my small town romance series, it was a little bit easier to do that just because it like takes place in a real place. So I didn't have to like have a Word document, but that's kind of my strategies. I have outlines for all of my books, and then I have Word documents, and I also have like audiobook rubrics for my audiobook narrator. So I have a lot of files on my computer, and I have those files stored in like multiple places because I'm terrified that like they'll disappear.
Those redundancies are necessary. Yeah. Okay, so you just dropped a little bit of a bomb that I didn't realize. At First Smile is going to be, that's part of a series?
It will be a series. I have the first two chapters written for Gillian and JoJo's book. I'm because I'm getting it was never supposed to be, it was going to be a standalone, but like as I was writing the book, like you have your outline and then like the voices talk to you, right?
Yeah.
The muses are like, Melissa, like these two, they're gonna have this terrible like first meeting, and he's all grumpy and like brokenhearted, and she's all bubbly and sassy, and I was like, all right. And then of course there's Finn and Trina, and it's like, oh, but she's engaged. Wait, how are we gonna get rid of that pesky fiance?
I'm so excited. So that was that's the end of our 5 minute
Oh,
AMA round.
I was like, what was that? I was like, oh my God, like am I it's my I there's rumors my house is haunted, but I didn't know it was gonna play music.
No, so that is the crazy sound. I actually just got a new computer, so I was able to turn it off on my old one, and I haven't been able to turn it off on this one yet, so I'll have to figure it out. But that's the noise that it makes when the 5 minutes are up. Um, so we have made it through the round. We will put the 5 minutes on our social channels like Instagram and TikTok. And the full interview is going to go on things like Spotify and YouTube. So we're just going to keep chit-chatting. Um, and I would love to keep talking about the At First Smile series that you're working on because my mind is blown. I thought it was just that standalone, and now I'm so energized and I'm excited. I loved that book so much. I was an ARC reader, and I loved the blind representation. I loved just like the other side of the hockey player because
Mhm.
you really honed in on his personality outside of hockey, and that was nice. I loved getting that. So, yeah, are there any other secrets you can spill about this?
About the series or
Yeah,
about
yeah, anything. Yes.
Um, okay, well, so here's the thing. Yeah, so I got a little bit of like criticism about Rowan, which I thought was funny, because people wanted him to be like more like, I'm a hockey player, and that stereotypical alpha, and he's definitely not. And I did it very intentionally because it's like, listen, like I'm tired of that like toxic masculinity trope that we have out there. And listen, I gobble it up like any girl, like, but I just wanted to show that like he's like a real man, and he's got like emotions, and he's got his own things, and also like his journey, like kind of going through like his own journey of like deconstructing his toxic masculinity, and not just like punching someone when he's mad.
Right.
um so that was kind of fun. And then the other thing that people don't realize, because I've had some people who complain about like the dog bite scene, which is funny because they're like, that would never happen. And I was laughing because that literally happened to me as I was writing this book. I had to take a month off of writing because I was randomly walking in my neighborhood and got attacked by a dog. And like my husband happened to be home that day. Like I work from home, so I go for walks on my lunch break, and I like literally called him and was like, hey honey, I'm down the street and I just got attacked by a dog and the police are here and they're sending the fire department. And my husband was like, what? And he like
Oh
runs down the
my gosh.
so like what happened to her happened to me. And I incorporated the story because it was such a traumatic experience, not just like being attacked by a dog, and I'm a like my pug is like laying here sleeping listening to this. I love dogs, right? But also the fact that like as a blind person who's a white cane user, that like kind of further disabled me for a bit, and I couldn't like do a lot of the things, and I couldn't access a lot of things easily, that helped me access the world. So there was like a short period of time where I was like, um it was extra disabling, and it was like really uh, rough on my like sense of independence. And so I'm in the middle of writing this book, and I'm like dealing with this. And my husband's like, you know what? You should put this in the book. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And so I did. And I always laugh when people like complain about that. I'm like, oh, if you only knew.
That's crazy to me that people complained about first Rowan, but also that scene because the way that you wrote Rowan, he felt very real and very relatable. It wasn't something like if I read a man who is just like so toxic, the toxic masculinity that you mentioned, like that's
Mhm.
not real. That's not what actually that not many people are actually like that in real life, to the degree that you see written in books. So seeing the real factor of Rowan is what drew me into the book, and you could tell your experiences with the things like the dog bite scene were very real and honest as well. So
Mhm.
I'm shocked that people didn't like that.
I think it comes from like our own biases. I think there's a lot of romance readers that have an expectation of a genre when they go into something like a hockey romance. They're
Mhm.
expecting a very specific type of
True.
male main character archetype. And when you don't give them that, they're like, "Excuse me," and and I'll take the hit. Like I'll take the hit because I think it's really important to have representation of all different types of uh, people, right? And so, I tend to write a lot of golden retrievers, cinnamon roll men. Sometimes they might be a little grumpy, and that's what I love to write, but also that's what I know because they say to write what you know, and that's my husband. He's like your typical. I like to refer to him as my like half nerd daddy, half Viking, half grumpy, half sunshine, like husband, right? And
Multifaceted.
yeah. So and he helps me like work out like getting in the male mindset, because I am a woman, and it helps to talk to men as I am crafting the male main character, especially if I do dual POV. When it's only her POV, I'm like, I can get away with this because it's all from her perspective. But when it's
Mhm.
his perspective, I gotta tap into a dude brain, and the dude brain I have is a golden retriever, and so I'm gonna write golden retrievers.
I love that. It sounds like you really do a lot of research into your characters to craft them and make them relatable. So, thank you.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Lots of interviewing people, interacting with people, following creators on social media, just like lots and lots of research to try to like tap into maybe lived experiences that are not quite my own.
Well, Melissa, we are just about at time, so typically we wrap up right now and let the author who is joining us, so you, if you have anything you want to say to your readers or any announcements you want to make, we open the floor to you now, so feel free.
Yeah. So if you are a Melissa Whitney reader, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I've been feeling so much love lately from readers who've helped my book kind of find a broader audience. And I'm really, really, really appreciative for that. If you are not a Melissa Whitney reader, what are you waiting for?
I
um,
second that.
I mean, come on, Golden Retriever MMCs. I always write a sassy female main character. So yeah, just I I'm really excited about the books I have out, and I'm really excited about the books that are coming out, including Book Boyfriends, which drops August 26th, which is my first kind of super rom com. It's more of a rom com than I've ever written, and it's has magical elements, which is really fun. And then I will be having a Christmas book, which is the last book in the home series. It's Summer and Todd's story, and I'm really excited for it. And it will drop November 4th. So we'll be having some like cover reveals and all that fun stuff happening real soon.
Ooh, I'm so excited. I can't wait for these to come out.
Thank
Thank you, Melissa, so much for joining us today, and I hope to have you on again soon.
you, and y'all have a good one.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.